Welcome to Eureka Epoch, bringing Urantia Book insights to life through storytelling, visuals, and inspired exploration. Subscribe for more. In the cradle of the Nile Valley, where the river's lifeblood nourished the earth, the seeds of a great civilization were sown. The Urantia Book tells us that Egypt's origins were rooted in an evolutionary religion, a natural unfolding of human spirit and ingenuity, yet touched by distant influences. While much of the culture and religion of Egypt was derived from Andite Mesopotamia, there was a remarkable social and ethical idealism which arose as a purely human development within Egypt. For over 30,000 years, a steady stream of Mesopotamians poured into the Nile's embrace, bringing with them the arts of pottery, agriculture, and metalworking, enriching the fertile delta. Among these early arrivals were the broad-headed Nodite and Andites Syrians, who laid the foundations of a vibrant culture, their hands shaping clay and forging tools under the desert sun. By 5000 BC, Egypt had become a mosaic of 7 distinct peoples, all but one tracing their roots to Mesopotamia, rising as the new heart of advanced culture. Egypt was intellectual and cultural but not overly spiritual, the Urantia Book notes, yet it succeeded Mesopotamia as the center of the most advanced Andite culture. The Andites, skilled in river life and wielding iron from Mount Sinai, brought a surge of innovation. Among them stood Imhotep, an Andite whose genius birthed the first stone pyramid, a monument to Egypt's ambition that pierced the heavens. The sands of the Nile bore witness to a civilization ascending, its people weaving a tapestry of art, architecture, and thought. Religion, too, evolved along the Nile's banks. From the worship of nature and totem gods, the Egyptians began to glimpse a higher truth. The early Egyptian religion was strongly influenced by the political and moral tendencies of the Salem teachings, the Urantia Book reveals, guiding them toward a concept of a super-god, a precursor to monotheism. Teachers from the Second Eden and Melchizedek's headquarters at Salem arrived periodically, their words like sparks igniting moral and spiritual growth. This evolution was not merely divine but human, as the divine spirit indwelt the individual men and women who gave rise to the higher social and moral idealism of Egypt. The Hebrews, too, were woven into Egypt's story. Their time in the Nile Valley was a crucible of cultural exchange, for the Hebrews borrowed freely from the entire Egyptian culture and its associated mores as these were transmitted through their religion. Moses, a son of Egypt's royal lineage, drank deeply from its philosophical wells. Moses was educated in all the religious philosophy of the Egyptians, the Urantia Book declares, and from this wellspring he drew the moral currents that shaped Hebrew monotheism, forever linking the two peoples. Yet, as the sun of Egypt's glory rose, shadows of decline gathered. The Urantia Book recounts a time of strife along the Nile, where internal warfare resulted in Egypt being overrun by inferior tribes from Arabia and blacks from the south, plunging the land into a 500-year regression. By 6500 BC, the spiritual heritage of the Andites waned, their descendants scattered, and the culture of the sons of Adam was deteriorating. The decline of Mesopotamia around 5000 BC sent ripples to Egypt, as the influx of mixed and darker races further scattered the residue of Andite civilization. The once vibrant culture began to fray, its brilliance dimmed by external pressures and internal discord. Religion, the soul of Egypt, became its undoing. The bold vision of Ikhnaton, who sought to crown Aton as the one true God, burned too brightly for its time. Ikhnaton's teachings were too advanced for the masses and lacked political sagacity, the Urantia Book laments, and his reforms faltered. After his death, priests who had been cast aside during his reign seized power, blaming monotheism for Egypt's woes and restoring the old gods. The great mistake of Ikhnaton in his procedure was the lack of material stability and political foresight, the text observes, sealing the fate of his monotheistic dream. Polytheism reclaimed the temples, and Egypt's spiritual light flickered. As Egypt's star waned, the Hebrews forged their own path, drawing from Egyptian wisdom, yet crafting a distinct faith. The Hebrews evolved their own concepts of God, moving away from the polytheism of Egypt, the Urantia Book notes, signaling a cultural shift that diminished Egypt's influence. The Nile, once the lifeblood of a mighty empire, now bore witness to its slow retreat into history's embrace, a civilization born of human striving and divine whispers, undone by the weight of its own ambitions and the tides of time.